Hello, 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 and how are you? I'm fine, and I hope that you are too. Hola, 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 y como estás? Muy bien, y espero que tú también. Hello, Orange Room friends from the morning class and from the afternoon class. It's nice to be with you again. You're in your houses, and I'm in mine, and today I'm in my kitchen. We're going to do something in my kitchen in just a little bit. But first, we need to get to our calendar. So it is the month of March still. And this is the day we're looking for right here. So we need to find out what day it is. Yesterday was Monday. So I wonder what comes after Monday. Can you help me sing so I remember? Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We raise our hands on Tuesday. This says Tuesday right up here. And so we're going to put our sticker right here. And yesterday's number was 30. So we have to think about what comes after 30. So let's count, shall we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. All right, now what color is it going to be? Here's our pattern. Pattern is something that repeats. Help me out here. Pink, pink, yellow, purple. 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 Pink, pink. I think it's yellow. Orange Room friends, 31, and it's yellow. All right, everyone. Oops, let's see. I have that the right way for you. That's 31. Okay. So, I'm going to go on to the mystery bag. And can you help me sing this song? Remember, I don't have the mystery bag at school, and so I'm using this bag that some Cherry students made for me. So, what's in the mystery bag? Who can tell? Maybe a pretzel, maybe a bell. What's in the mystery bag? We can't see. It's a surprise for you and me. All right, Orange Room friends, is it big or little? It's kind of little. Is it soft or hard? Well, it's hard. It seems like it might be in a jar. All right, clue number 1. It is a living thing. Okay, now what living things are in jars? It's very tricky. I don't even have any idea. Let's find out what clue number 2 is. It eats sugars and releases a gas called carbon dioxide, which is the same gas that when you breathe out of your mouth, that's the same gas that comes out of your mouth. So breathe out of your hand like this, in, out. That out gas that came out of your mouth is called carbon dioxide. So this, when it eats sugars, releases the gas called carbon dioxide. Well, I still don't know what that is. Let's go to clue number 3. It's used to make bread. Do any of you make bread at home? What ingredients are in bread? There's flour a lot of times. There's water. Might be some salt. I'm not sure. Let's take a look. This is very tricky today. What does that say? That is quick rise instant yeast. Well, what is yeast? Let's see. Yeast is used to make bread, and it helps things rise in bread. So let's see how it would work. It does this gas thing. So I want to show you something. Right here, we're going to do a little experiment. And we are going to add, let's see. We're going to add 8 tablespoons of dry yeast, or close to it. I'm going to have to make this, I'm going to put this yeast, which looks like sand. Looks like sand. I'm going to make a funnel to get it in here. Let's see. I use paper to get in this little jar, so it's easy to get down in there. Let's see if that works. Let me count. 1, 2. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, my friends. It's taking its time. Sorry. I'll fix it right after I get this out. Let's see, we don't have to make it that. Just rip some off on the bottom. Let's see if that works better. That was 2, 3, there we go. 4, 5, 6, let's see, 7, and last one, we'll put 8 tablespoons of yeast in here and see what happens. Now, it's each sugar. So we have our yeast, and we want to add some sugar. So we're going to add 4 tablespoons of sugar. We're going to see what happens. 1, 2, uh-oh. See if I can get some more sugar here. Hold on 1 second. 3. I'm going to scoop some out. I have a magic berry helping me here. You'll find out about that in just a moment. Thank you, Magic Berry. So that's 4. Now, I'm going to put the top on this bottle, and I'm going to shake it up so they're all mixed together. And then, I don't know what's going to happen now. We haven't done this part yet. We're going to add water. I'm going to move my notes. Ooh, wait. I'm going to do it far away from the computer. All right, can you see? We're going to add some water. Ooh, it's fizzing. All right. Ooh, I can hear it fizzing. I'm going to put this top on and give it a little shake. We'll see. Hope it doesn't explode. But if it does, it'll be pretty cool. Shake it around. Now we're looking to see what this gas thing is they're talking about. What does it do? As this yeast eats the sugar? It's making a little fizzy noise. We're going to put a balloon on the top of this bottle. Now you can see it's flat right now, this balloon. We're going to see if gas fills up this balloon. So we'll come back to that. We'll be watching that in just a little bit. And so I said I had a magic fairy here. Hold on 1 second, and I'm going to introduce you to him. So, as I said, we are in our kitchen. This is my house, and this is my husband, Mike. Some of you know him as Mr. Wolfie, because my last name is Wolf, and his last name is Wolf. So you can call him Mike, you can call him Mr. Wolfie.
Hi, Orange Room. How are you?
And he likes to make bread. This is what he does for fun. So he is going to show us how he makes bread. And What kind of bread are you making today?
We're gonna make sandwich bread, the same kind of sandwich bread that I used to have, peanut butter and jellies and bologna sandwiches on.
Okay, so you could have, that could be like toast bread you like make with your toast in the
It's
morning.
great for toast.
Excellent, excellent. Does it have yeast in it?
You know what? It does, and I was hoping I could borrow some of yours.
Oh, you need that.
Yes. Well, not out of that jar. Oh my
Oh.
goodness.
Ooh, we can peek. Look, look. Look, guys. Look what's
It's starting
happening.
to grow.
That is filling up with the gas. That's what's happening. So when you put this in when you put yeast in your bread, is that what makes it rise?
It does. So you're gonna see it starts out little and then it grows bigger because of the yeast.
Alrighty. We'll keep watching that. All right, where would you like to start?
Well, so I need to start much like Michelle started with you all with their experiments, because I need to make yeast, sugar, and water together so that they begin to make gases. And we put that in this bowl ahead of time before we add flour. Michelle mentioned there's flour. There will be flour, but we're going to come back for that. In the meantime, we're going to add the yeast. I don't know if you can see that, but it's the same kind of yeast Michelle used. She's letting me borrow some. We're going to put that in the bowl.
Actually, you let me borrow some of your yeast.
And then I've got some sugar, lots of sugar. We're going to put sugar in. And last, we're going to put a little bit of water, just like Michelle did. And what's going to happen in this bowl is the same thing that we hope is going to happen with her experiment. We're going to mix up the yeast and the sugar and the water, and it's going to start to get fizzy, and then we're going to add flour. But we'll be back for more on that.
Can you show them a little bit what color it's kind of
Yeah,
brown
it
and
looks
runny?
just like Michelle's experiment, to be honest with you.
All right. So we'll pause here and we'll come back in 5 minutes.
That would be great.
Okay. Okay, Orange Room friends, it's been about 10 minutes. We paused the video and look at what happened. We didn't do anything. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger. So maybe, I don't know, I don't want to wreck your experiment. We'll just keep showing it to you. We're not doing anything to it, but it's just growing and growing. That is the gas expanding. So
That's pretty cool, I have to say. We've been watching this happen, and now we're more worried about the balloon breaking. Let's hope it doesn't happen. So, what happened inside Michelle's experiment is actually happening inside our bowl, which we're going to make bread in. If you can look real carefully, it's all foamy and fizzy, and there's bubbles on top, and it's doing the same thing that's happening in the experiment. The yeast is going to work on all the sugar we put in this bowl. So now we're ready to start making bread. We are now going to add more water. So I have a couple of cups of warm water that I'm going to put in here.
and it's warm, not cold, right?
That's right, it's just warm. Not hot, not cold, warm. And then we're going to add some flour. So flour, does anybody know where flour comes from? Where does flour come from?
It's from
Wheat. Yeah, it comes from wheat that grows in the fields.
And some people use other kinds of flours. Like
Yes, they
oat
do.
flour, but we're using a wheat flour today.
So I'm going to put in about half the flour, and then I'm going to mix it with my wooden spoon. This is really the exciting part.
Let's see, we're gonna just see how you're mixing it.
Oh yeah.
What it looks
See, I'm making mushy bread. It's kind of hard to see how this is going to be a sandwich bread, isn't it? How am I going to make toast out of this? I don't understand how that's going to work.
We'll have to see.
All right, so I'm going to keep going with my mixture, and I have to keep adding flour.
All right, I'm gonna put you back down. And there is a view of the balloon just filling up. All right,
Oh, pretty
so
cool.
back to you, I think.
I'm going to add some salt now to the mixture. And then I'm going to add some butter. And I realize, Michelle, I don't have a knife. Can I bother you for a knife?
A regular knife?
Just a regular knife. So we're going to add a little bit of butter to our bread. Like that. Like that. A little bit more.
So that butter's nice and soft. It's been sitting out for a while, is that right?
It has, because we keep our butter in the refrigerator.
And then you broke it up into pieces to help spread it around while you're mixing?
I did, so I have to keep mixing it up.
We're watching.
Here,
We got a great view here.
you got a good view?
Yeah.
All right. This is the exciting part. Now, are you ready to eat this?
No.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, we'll keep mixing it up and maybe it'll look better.
It looks stiff and sticky.
You know, it is a little sticky actually.
Okay. And you're trying to make sure you get all those little pieces of flour into the mix?
I am.
Okay.
And then, so once we mix it up, then we're gonna do something called kneading the bread. And when you knead the bread, you can either do it by hand or you can do it with a mixer. But we're gonna do it with a mixer. And the whole idea is to keep mixing up the bread so it gets blended together and it starts to get sticky, so it sticks together. And it leaves a place for all that air the yeast is creating when it eats the sugars to go. So rather than escaping into a balloon, that air is going to escape into our bread.
We're just gonna look at the balloon for just a second here. Look how big it's getting, people. That's so nutty.
All right, I'm making quite a mess here. So we are next going to put it in the mixer. And we're going to put a kneading hook on. Maybe you've seen your parents use this before.
But you could just mix it by hand for a long, long, long time.
You can actually, you just have to mix it for 8 minutes. So here we go. We're going to mix it for 8 minutes and then we'll come back and see you in a few.
All right, so we're back. We've been mixing for about 8 minutes or so, and there is the balloon. It's just getting so much bigger. And now we are mixing and mixing.
And we are done mixing.
All right.
So we have to take the dough out of the bowl, and make a ball of dough, and then we're going to let it rise. Now,
It looks kind of like gum, like sticky.
it's very sticky, and that's what the kneading did. The kneading created all of that stickiness. Instead of flour and water, we've got this sticky dough now. The interesting thing about this sticky dough is how do we make it into a ball? Because it's just a goopy mess. And we're gonna start by putting some flour down on our counter. And then we're gonna take our goopy mess out of our bowl. Watch this. Ugh, it's like a blob.
It's kind of like our Play-Doh, only a little bit goopier and stickier.
You're right, it is a little bit like Play-Doh. I hadn't thought of that before. It is goopier than Play-Doh though.
And we don't add yeast when we make Play-Doh, but we do use flour and salt and water
You
when we
do?
make Play-Doh. Yes,
I didn't
we
know
use
that's
cream
how
of
you use
tartar, although you don't have to.
I didn't know that's how you made Play-Doh.
Yeah.
All right, so there we have our big glob of dough. And we're gonna make it into a ball and then put it in this bowl and we're gonna let it rise. Meaning we're gonna let the yeast do its work, and that part is really cool. So
What is
let's try and flip this thing around.
Is that a
into
bread tool?
Something that looks, yes, this is a bread scraper. We're gonna try and create something that looks a little bit like a ball.
And did you put flour on the surface so that it won't stick to the wood?
That is correct, Michelle. That is exactly correct. All right, so I don't know. What do you think? Does that look a little more like a ball? Not really a ball, a flat ball, but that's close enough. So we are going to let this rise. Now I want everybody to take a good look at this. And in fact, we're going to mark this. I don't know, where should we mark it?
Is it better to mark it on the outside?
Yeah, let's mark it on the outside. So we're going to mark where the bread is right now.
Does it come out?
It does. I don't know if everybody can see that, but
Let's
it's
see.
right there. But we can
Yeah.
look in here and just see. Let's measure it actually. Is everybody familiar with a tape measure? It's kind of like a ruler.
Yes, we can.
All right. So you can see that the bread is about 3 inches below the top of the bowl right now. Okay? Now, when the yeast starts working, I hope it's going to do the same thing that's happening to Michelle's balloon, except that all of that air that's in the balloon is going to be in the bread, and the bread is going to rise up. But we're going to have to wait an hour to see. So we're going to take this bowl, and we're going to cover it. We're gonna cover it.
Not with that.
Not with that. Yeah, Wolfie's having trouble with the saran wrap. All right, and then we'll just place it over the bowl like this.
So that's like what we did with the balloon, to keep the gas in?
Not exactly. It's a little bit different. The gas, we hope, is staying inside the bread.
Right.
And this is just to not let it dry out and keep it nice and warm and cozy.
Okay.
So we're just going to put it right here on our breadboard, and we're going to come back and we're going to see whether or not the bread's in the same place or whether or not it's risen.
And so I am going to read a story to you guys, and then we will probably pause again, and then because I'm not going to read you an hour-long story, and I'll just leave this right here so you can
That is
see it.
amazing.
It's getting crazy. As long as it doesn't explode on the computer, we're all good. So I have a book. Let me get closer. This book is called Bread, Bread, Bread. And it's written by Anne Morris. And this book has real pictures. So they had a photographer come. A photographer is someone who comes and takes pictures. And his name is Ken Heyman. Read this story. Those baguettes right there. Bread, bread, bread. I'm going to move this a little closer. People eat bread all over the world. There are many kinds and many shapes and many sizes. Skinny bread, fat bread, round flat bread, and bread with a hole. Wolfie, are you making this kind of bread?
That's
This is
exactly the kind of bread we're
sandwich
making.
bread.
That's cool.
All right. Crunchy bread, lunchy bread, and bread to soak up your egg. Pizza, pretzel, they are breads too. Bread on the table, bread on your head. Bread is good for you. It makes you strong and it helps you grow. Making bread, shaping bread, baking bread. Toasting bread, cooking bread over the fire. Oh, that's fun to do. Fill up the basket. Off to the market. Bread for sale. Look at all these different kinds of bread being sold all over the world. Breaking bread together. Are they sharing a meal together? Have a bite. It's delicious. So that is our story, and we are going to pause, and we'll be back when the dough has risen. Hello again. So it's been about 90 minutes, and this is what's happening with our balloon. I put it in my sink in case it exploded. And what's happening with our bread?
Well, Michelle,
Yes.
our bread has risen.
Yes.
So, I don't know if you all remember how this looked when we first put it in, but I can tell you, based on the measurement, It was about 3 inches below the surface, and now it's only about 1 3/4 inches.
Wow.
Right? So it's risen 1 1/4 inches, and it's big and fluffy. And what we're going to do now is we're going to take it out and put it on our breadboard, and we're going to divide it into 2 loaves and put it in 2 loaf pans. So we're going to get 2 loaves of sandwich bread.
And did you grease those loaf pans?
I did.
With butter?
There is butter on these.
Okay.
And the reason we put butter on there is to keep the bread from sticking in the pan when it's done. And we'll show you when we take it out. I'm really
Alright.
excited.
All right.
All right, here we go. So what are we doing this for again, Michelle?
We were flouring the surface so it doesn't stick to the surface of the breadboard and your hands.
That's right. So here we go. We're going to take this gooey, look at that. It's all light and airy now. I'm going to take this out.
Let's see if I can get it. There we go.
Okay. So now we need to split this into 2 loaves. And I'm using a scraper to do that.
You could probably use a regular knife, like a good kitchen knife. Like your parents could use a kitchen knife if they wanted to make this bread.
That's right. We're going to try and make them even, so I'm going to add a little of that one. All right, so now we need to fold these like a letter, and then we're going to put them in the pan, and they're going to rise again. So I'm gonna
And
take-
when you say fold like a letter, does that mean into 3 parts?
watch
three-
this.
Okay, 3 parts that are the same.
It's going to be nice and gooey.
Let's see if we can see you.
Oh, this is much stickier than Play-Doh. Okay, so now we've got it sort of folded over, and we're going to take it and we're going to put it in a pan. All right.
Can you move that pan before you do that? Can you put it over the other one?
Oh, you want to put that one
So
right
that they
there?
can see you flip it.
Right there?
Thank you. So you said you're folding this into 3 parts. Can you
Right.
show us that again? 'Cause I'm not sure if I saw that.
Okay, ready?
So, 1, 2 folds. But that makes 3 parts, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, and then we're gonna scrape it up. It's so sticky because it's much messier than Play-Doh. Now, so here's where our bread is gonna sit again, and the reason we're gonna let it sit is that yeast is gonna still do its work, and it's gonna raise this up. Now I want everybody to look at where it sits in the pan. It's like halfway up the pan, right? You see, it's not very far up the pan. When we're done though, we hope it's gonna be much higher. We'll come back and see how high it's gonna get.
So we have to wait another, how much?
1 hour.
All right, we're gonna wait about an hour and then we'll be back. Okay, wait, we're still recording because you just covered this. Okay, so it's been about an hour, and this is the size of the balloon now, and you can see some of the liquid is in the balloon. And now we're gonna show you the bread.
That is really amazing. I can't believe all of that air the yeast created went into there. And it also went into our bread.
Let's see if you can see this.
If you remember when we first put this in, it was way down here, and look how it's all poofed up. And that means it's ready to go into the oven, so we're gonna bake our bread, and we'll see what we have when it's done.
Are you putting it in now?
I'm gonna put it in
Are you going that way?
a little bit, but that's okay.
All right, hold on here.
All right, hold on.
Turn you around so you can see him. And you have the oven at 375?
Yeah.
All right,
So now we need about 30 minutes, and then we'll have sandwich bread.
we'll be back. All right,
It's
we're back
time.
again.
Our bread is ready.
It's been about, what, 35 minutes?
About 35 minutes.
1,
Now, remember, we buttered the pan so our bread wouldn't stick.
And look, you can see all the bubbles
You can see the bubbles, and where did the bubbles come from?
from the yeast.
From the yeast. This is how you have sandwich bread.
Ta-da! So thank you, Mr. Wolfie, for making bread with us today. And Orange Room friends, it is time to say goodbye. And this project takes several hours to do, but we shrunk it down into less time for all of you. So goodbye to all of my orange friends. Bella and Carolyn and Clara and Emily and Ilan and Jasper and Jet and Juliana and Maya and Nick and Nora and Kareem and Mariana and Santiago and Seamus and William and Ari and Ariane and Ben and Desmond and Iman and Eva and Henry and Caitlin and Madison and Maeve and Micah and Lucy and Olivia and Sadie and Vicky. And if you guys want to pretend making a loaf of bread, you can, using your imagination, or maybe you have some kitchen corner toys you can get out and use. And perhaps you can make bread with your family someday. Maybe you make pumpkin bread or regular bread or sourdough bread or something else. And that's great. We're also sending your parents the recipe of this bread. It is kind of a big project, so maybe it's something you can do at some point. So goodbye for now, and we'll see you next time.